did Spezza turn back the clock or what? Turn back what clock? It was always there. Now he's not being weighed down by Heatley and Alfredson. I don't know if you've heard this before, but Heatley had 50 in 07 and Alfredson had over 1,000 points. Oh yeah? Wow. How many cups? What, are you going to apply that to Sundin too? It makes me sad when you ask questions. Hi kids! Victorious puppies! This team is ruining my life. Why do I watch hockey? Stress relief! Okay. We can. And we will. Victory puppies, boys! Let's go! Let's battle them on Terry! Go! 4 forwards in overtime! We don't even care! Full send! Full send! Leafs win! 2-1 in overtime over the Ottawa Senators. The Battle of Ontario was a bit of a dud, but they won! This is a rare Saturday night video, and I'm being reminded why I usually don't do night of videos, because there were so many questions after this game, and I have answers to none of them yet. Actually, they all just flooded in. How about we go through them immediately? John Tavares left the game at one point, and there was a conversation in my house amongst experts that maybe he left to puke. After all, Dermott's sick, maybe he's sick too. Kapanen was a mystery that we just had answered. But this from Lance Hornby on John Tavares, everyone. John Tavares hurt his ankle in a rut on the ice, which is why he left in the first period, but says he's okay. As for Kasperi Kapanen, alright, he left the game just a couple games ago with an arm injury. Played the next game, looked fine. Scratched in this one. Oh, maybe he's sick, just like Dermott. Well, he was at the game, so that would be weird. And Sheldon Keefe saying this after the game. Reason for Kasperi Kapanen scratch. Internal accountability. That doesn't sound good, does it? Keefe will let Kapanen explain Monday at practice. That doesn't sound good either. I think I said I'll talk about it later, but that's it, really. Put it this way, it sounds bad enough that they scratched him, and the Leafs are mad enough that they're saying, screw you, you deal with it. And who knows, this might not even be the last game that Kapanen is scratched on account of Nazem Kadri got dinged a few games a few years back. The team was also trying to tank, and thank goodness they did, because they ended up getting Austin Matthews. Really, really, really bad look, and it means something that the Leafs scratched a player that helps them win hockey games at this crucial point in the season. Letting down a lot of people. Obviously the coach, whose teammates, Dmitry Timashov, like, yeah, how could you? I was just thinking to myself the other day, when's he gonna get back in the lineup? Maybe worth noting that Keefe also said it was a one-time incident. I'll end with this, because they've pretty much given us nothing, and I think there's good reason for that. Careful what you read. Come on, Steve, I'm not gonna get fooled. Yeah? How many of you retweeted the Gerard Gallant to the Devils thing? Or retweeted any fake trade ever? Or even for the splittest of seconds gone, ooh, to a fake tweet? It's Sunday. Go do your homework. Go grocery shop and get some Pedialyte. Do whatever you gotta do. We're gonna find out what happened Monday. Now, can we talk about a fun overtime win, please? Well, maybe not fun. Tight. That was good. Question, is this the most dead the Battle of Ontario has ever been? Saturday night, Hockey Night in Canada, Leafs and Sens, and just dull. I think that was a couple factors. One thing with this current Battle of Ontario, it's way too friendly. There were even a couple opportunities for, like, at least a mean shove in front of the net, for crying out loud. From the Sens, from the Leafs, anything. A face wash, a shoving contest, or heaven forbid a fight. Dude, half the Sens were on the Leafs last year. And there's CC, and to a lesser extent Spezza, because he was a Sen like 40 years ago. But the other factor in there, because Leafs-Sens games over the past couple years, even though they haven't been the most playoff-affected games, they've been fun. They've been motivated. It's the Sens Stanley Cup. The Sens are in a rough way when it comes to this season. The Leafs, if Travis Dermott's sick, I gotta believe he's not the only one. You ever been in a locker room? I have. Listen to me, I've been playing hockey for 5 seconds and I think I know. But if you've ever been in any locker room, hockey, soccer, basketball, just in your school, they're disgusting! Come on, man, it's the Toronto Maple Leafs. They have the best facilities and resources in the entire league. That still does not change the fact that there are over 20 disgusting boys in a very tiny space. How many times have you been watching Hockey Night in Canada, a national broadcast in this country, and Jim Houston is talking about, well, it's this gentleman's first game on Hockey Night in Canada. He scored his first NHL goal the other night. His parents must be so proud. And he's just horking all over the place the whole time. So it could have been the sniffles. I don't know. All I know is they got 2 points in a regulation win. Hooray. What I noticed right away in this game, and I think the first period's probably been his best period consistently, Michael Hutchinson looked so calm, looked so confident in that net. He looked like a goalie I've never seen before. And it's kind of funny because he's playing on Hockey Night in Canada again, and I've remarked how many Hockey Night in Canadas he's been playing in this year, and he didn't have to play in this one. It wasn't the second half of a back-to-back, and he still played. But he wasn't wildly throwing himself to the side and sending himself outside of the crease, nowhere near covering zero net. There were several times, including one big one in overtime, where he is not only stopping the puck with his pad, but he's actually directing the rebound. He had a zone exit in overtime. Cody Ceci won the game ball last game. He gave it to Michael Hutchinson in this one. Hutchinson just bashfully said, no, it should have been Spezza because he's adorable. But it was super nice within the first few minutes to see Hutchinson make a few saves, make more than Craig Anderson did in the opening minutes, because Craig Anderson, for whatever reason, turns into Patrick Waugh against the Leafs. Now listen to me flatter Hutch, but if Craig Anderson does not rob William Nylander on a breakaway within the first minute of the game, I wonder how much different this game looks. In some ways, it was a bit of a goalie battle, and I can get behind that. The sort of night where if the goalie can see it, they're gonna stop it, which made the Sens go, wait a minute, I have an idea. Forget Michael Hutchinson being able to see the puck. You can barely see Michael Hutchinson! Mark Borowiecki, you gotta give him credit, he's having a heck of a season and getting beat up while he's doing it. Throws it on net. It's a perfect shot considering there was no one there to stop it, and it's 1-0 Sens. That's the one thing you might criticize about Michael Hutchinson from this game, is maybe he's a little too deep in his net. Obviously, he just panic hits the ice because he can't see it. I feel like that's something that Freddie excels at, sort of getting up above people and seeing where the puck is, battling through it, throwing his weight around. And on that note, I know it was Martin Marincin battling with Drake Batherson there on this goal, but Sandin was there too. Either of you guys put any aggression at all on him, and maybe that puck doesn't go in, because maybe Hutchinson sees it. Travis Dermott out of the lineup, not always the best in that department, but he will at least let you know he's there, and neither of those guys did. Then the game opens up a little bit. Ooh, exciting, except it was the Sens who were drooling all night, and it was so frustrating. Craig Anderson had an amazing game, but the Sens were collapsing around him. They had like 4 guys back, they're clogging up the slot, and they're just waiting for the Leafs to pinch. And they did. And it turned into a bunch of odd man rushes that Michael Hutchinson had to completely bail the Leafs out of, which is his job. Like, he was exactly in those situations where it's a 2-on-1 for the Sens, and you go, yeah, but what's he supposed to do on this one? Stop it! Stop the puck! Listen, your team can't be doing that 5-10 times a game and expect to have success. Expect the goalie to bail them out every time, but some of the time would be awesome, and he did! So while the Leafs were playing some of their weakest hockey of the game, Hutchinson bailed them out, and the Leafs are now waiting for their luck to turn. It did. A little over halfway through the second, Leafs to the power play, no luck for the first unit, face-off with 44 seconds left. Kerfoot wins the face-offs, the Leafs ring it around. Hyman up to Sandin, over to Spezza. You know, I'm old enough to remember when forwards not named Alex Ovechkin took slap shots, and it worked. Oh, my back. Jason Spezza, who has been a Leaf fan the entire time, ties it up. And man, we're talking about a cracker of a slap shot, but let me show you something here. Let me show you this like I'm a bootleg Justin Bourne. Check this out. What are the Sens really doing wrong here? They got their little box going. I mean, Nemesnikov isn't exactly challenging Spezza, but if he bails on that, then Spezza feeds Hyman, who is probably going to bag it because he's having that kind of season. And look where Spezza is. Look how far back he is. Are you expecting him to score from there? So anyway, if you have the opportunity to pay that guy $700,000, don't put him on waivers. From Luke Fox, Spezza had 8 goals in 78 games 2 years ago, 8 goals in 76 games last year. He's got 8 in 40 so far. Made even more annoying by the fact that the Leafs have played 52. Listen, he's 36. With a completely healthy lineup, he should probably get a night off every now and then. But completely healthy lineup? What? Alright, well, if you ever see one of those, you let me know. He's typically playing 4th line, and this one he had to play 3rd, and on the power play, he's lucky if he gets to play 45 seconds. He hasn't been wasting any of it. Just a banger from a forward coming in is not something you see quite as much anymore. I'm not talking one-timer, I'm talking about he just grips it and rips it. Here is something I have literally never seen before, ever. Maple Leaf Hot Stove is the one who cut this one. Mitch Marner bent bent down to tie his skate mid-power play during this game. I have seen players get hurt. I have seen players have their shot blockers, their little skate guard come off. I've seen their entire blade come off. I've even seen the plastic part come off. I have never seen a player tie their skates, have to take their gloves off and tie their skates mid-game. Maybe leave a comment in the comment section, what's the move there? Because I can't imagine bending down and tying your skates is the move. Like, that wasted a solid, what, 5 to 10 seconds? Is the move not just carefully skate to the bench for a replacement and then quickly and safely tie your skate on the bench while, you know, you're not down a man? Sens sort of got like a scoring chance off of that. Like, that was almost bad. Now, heading into the third period, the Leafs have another power play. They weren't able to do anything with this one, but I thought the third was their best period of the game. All throughout the game, so frustrating. All the passes were just a little too far ahead of guys. In the third, they were crisp. They were going. They were generating scoring chances, and Anderson was equal to all of them. Nylander had a nice chance, couldn't get the puck. Matthews robbed on the backhand. John Tavares hits the goal post. This has annoying loss that should have been the opposite of a loss written all over it. Ooh, Nylander to Kerfoot, come on, no! How is Anderson making your age is your jersey number? This is garbage! Hyman misses one with about 10 seconds to go. Oh, this is you too. This is you. No, I'm sorry for yelling. I should have been. We're cool. We're cool. Just give us something in overtime. And Ottawa heads to the power play. I said we were cool! Tyson Barrie taking an interference call in overtime. That is a tough one. That is a tough one. It could have been accidentally on purpose. It seemed to me to be incidental contact, an accident. However, it was an accident that affected possession. I don't blame the call. It just sucks, that's all. And again, the type of season that the Sens are having, they looked lethal on the 4-on-3 power play the entire time. I kept waiting for them to set up Duclair, because how many times has he banged that one in? He did it for the hat-trick goal against John Tortorella's Blue Jackets. But it was Pajot they kept feeding him. Pajot, and he's whiffing on it, and he's missing the net. And if he connects with any of these, and it's on net, it's a goal. And with less than half a minute to go, the Sens get frustrated, they get fed up with that little formation. Duclair gets a point-blank shot, blockered by Hutchinson, and not just blockered out of the zone. It basically killed the rest of it. And with the penalty killed off in the ensuing chaos, Mike Riley takes out Mitch Marner, and once again, not the most egregious thing in the entire world, but it affected possession. You can't do that. Go to the box. And it was great because you see Mitch Marner head to the Leafs bench and he's telling them, hey, take a timeout. I actually was told exactly what was said in the exchange, so the following is going to be a really good impression of both Mitch Marner and Sheldon Keefe. Are you ready? Hey, coach! You know how we're always like 4 forwards and a D? And like you'd think we were about to do 3 forwards and a D, right? What if we just go like full send? Like, what if we just send it? Like, there's a minute 20 left, right? We got 1 point. What if we just send it? You want me to send it? I know you gotta do that, like, brooding look thing, but, like, just give me, like, a grunt of approval and I'll send it. Hell yeah, we're gonna go full send there, Mitch. This guy, so much better. And the Leafs go full send. Austin Matthews, John Tavares, Mitch Marner, and William Nylander. Yes, I announced them in order of cap hit from largest to least. But dude, if they're gonna keep doing this, they've earned it. They have earned it, man. I don't care if they play Shane McMahon's theme song. Here comes the money. Here we go. I don't care. It's the old Ferrari discussion we keep having. A Ferrari feels expensive when your hand touches your wallet. But when your foot hits the pedal, suddenly that all disappears. How do you want to score, man? How do you want to score? We got all kinds of ways. Mitch Marner slap shot with that barely al dente noodle of a stick he's got? Why? Because it's funny, yeah. Why not? Full send! Full send! The fullest! Bang! 2 points. Yoink! We're going to Gracie's. Anyone on the team who's over 27 is like, we will not be going to Gracie's. Listen, when you're young, sometimes you gotta go to Gracie's. And you're like, I'm not sure I gotta go to Gracie's. And then you find out Signal Hill is playing Gracie's. And all of a sudden it's, oh, the year was 1778. Entire bar. I wish I was in Sherbrooke now. And there's always the one guy from Halifax who knows like the rest of the words showing off. Just Toronto things, if you know, you know. The most important part is the Leafs get 2 points. How's the coffee? Man, it's Saturday night. I don't got the coffee going. Believe it or not, this is peppermint tea. Listen, it's good for your tummy, and I'm just naturally going, okay? Full send? Full send! What's wrong with Janssen? Oh, that's an interesting one. It's actually a funny question. One thing, maybe you've noticed this in videos, I am not paying attention to player stats. Not nearly as much as I have in seasons past. Oh, this pace it's down, or oh, this pace it's up. I'm just not as interested. I'm watching the games, and if I like what I see, I tell you. If I don't like it, I tell you that too. And occasionally, every 5-10 games, I really look at player stats in depth and I go, is something going wrong here? If that's all you do with Janssen, you'll see, oh, he's not scoring like at all. And that's bad. But honestly, I'm watching him play. I don't really think anything's going wrong there. If the main thing going wrong with Janssen, I think, is that he's probably not playing as much under Sheldon Keefe because the top 6 plays so darn much and he's not in it anymore. Janssen's in a bit of an unfair position. I don't know if he was playing great, really, at any point this year, but he barely got a chance to play under Sheldon Keefe, and while he was out with an injury, Alex Kerfoot emerged as this awesome candidate to play on the left side of Tavares and Nylander. That's not Janssen's fault. Not to mention, and stop me if I've mentioned this before, but Engvall is playing center for that line, and he hasn't played a ton of center in the NHL. And it's okay, they're really forming some chemistry. They got Kapanen. Oh no, they don't, because he was a knucklehead apparently, and Spets is out there instead. Janssen has to play with pop. He has to play with speed. I'd like to see a little bit more snarl out of him, but in terms of him flying around the ice the past few games, I really haven't had a problem. When will fans begin to trust Hutch? Now. I hope now, The guy, okay, brutal start to the season. We get it. Lots of factors. Whatever. It's a new season, basically, under Sheldon Keefe. And in Michael Hutchinson's past 2 starts, he has allowed 1 goal. 1. He allowed 1 in an overtime win over the Ottawa Senators, and he shut out the New York Islanders. And worth noting that I think the Leafs have been playing better in front of them. It was just 33 saves against the Islanders. That's a little on the high side. Didn't even face 30 in this one against the Sens, and he shouldn't. It's the Sens. No offense to the Sens, but the Leafs should beat them, and they shouldn't have to rely on a spectacular goaltending performance to do it. Tyson Barrie, 4 shots, 2 hits, 2 blocks. Good game? Dude, try a good since November 20th. I think everyone needs to get off Barry's back. We know what he can do, we know what he can't do, but he's been can-doing for a little while now. And the team obviously really leans on him with Riley out. He's so important to the power play. He's so important to the top pair, or whatever you want to call it. He's so important in situations like overtime. When he was in the penalty box, I'm like, oh my god, what are they going to do? Tyson Barrie, to me, almost seems like a talisman for the players on that bench, on that team, in that locker room. You're wrong, we were right the entire time, and we're going to show you. We're going to show you in February, we're going to show you in March, we're going to show you in April, and in May, and in June. This team wants to win, and I think they want to win with Tyson Barrie. I think Barrie would be down for the ride. One last thing before we go. I got a few book tour dates coming up, and I believe all of these are confirmed, and if they're not, oh well. Saturday, February 22nd, I'm going to be in Belleville in Quinte Mall. That's from noon till 3 p.m. I'll put all the info, like the address and everything, in the description down below. Saturday, February 29th. Yes, there's a February 29th this year. I'm going to be in Waterloo from 11 a.m. until 2 in the afternoon. March 7th. I'm going to be in Peterborough at the Peterborough Pete's game. I'm going to be signing books pre-game, and I believe first intermission as well. That game is at 7, and there's no Leaf game that night, conveniently. Saturday, March 21st, Windsor. Yes, Windsor. Devonshire Mall from 1 to 3 in the afternoon, as if I would do that in 1 to 3 in the morning. And March 28th, that's another Saturday, in Guelph. noon to 3 in the afternoon. Once again, all the deets in the description below. You know what? I'll make it the pinned comment too. I never do that. So that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all your friends that Jason Spezza is a Toronto Maple Leaf.